Today is the latest entrant in best shape of their life season, renewed focus on the game, in for a big season. This is basically what happens every year about this time. This is stage me or stage I, stage individual, right? There's the OT, there's the mini camps, there's the OTAs going on. We're not quite to training camp. There's this section, right? 4 or 5 weeks off where players get to go on their own, which means they might be back at their hometown, which means they might go find somewhere to train with other players, which means everyone is very excited about the work being put in. And nobody can really confirm or deny if the work is good or not. Right? I go back to this all the time, but it's one of my favorite Rob Gronkowski stories. During COVID, they had to work out at home, and their strength and conditioning coach wanted them to go find like a high school field near their house and run, like do their conditioning, right? So run gassers or whatever the run was. And he said, just set up your phone, film it, send it to me. Right? So every day, go run this many sprints or whatever. But he noticed that, every other day it was the same run. It was, same 300-yard sprints or whatever it was. So he just took a bunch of different T-shirts to the same field and in one day cranked out like 12 videos looking like it was a different day. So then he just sent them in like, hey, crushed it this morning. Here you go. And it's a video from, 2 weeks ago that he just filmed a bunch of them in one day. That's Gronk.
Just pour water on the shirt to make it look like you're sweating.
Work an unbelievably hard amount of time for one day, right? Because you had to do 12 days worth of conditioning just so you can chill the rest of them. So you don't know if Instagram posts can deceive, if you know what I mean, right? I'm going to do one really good rep, film it, and I'll put it out there with hashtag Rise and Grind. But K'Lavon Chaisson might be the simplest, obvious answer to who do you hope is putting it all together during this stage of self-improvement. He might be the simplest answer towards how can the Panthers greatly overachieve this year. If he plays great, which I'm not saying is likely, right? He's been in the league for almost half a decade now, and we haven't seen great out of him yet. If he plays great as an edge rusher, it would help this team overachieve a ton. Right? It is everyone is awesome season. And there's an article from Houston, which is, I believe, where Chaisson is from, that basically says this dude is capital A, capital W, capital E, sum. Like he is capital great right now. I have some quotes. Here we go. Let me bring them up. Everything you could have asked for in a fresh start. It's a true opportunity to establish an identity for a team, city, and culture. It's everything I asked for, says Chaisson. They're getting a complete player and they're getting a winner. That's the most important thing is the W column. I got used to winning in high school and college. It's a mindset and acknowledgement of the grind it takes to reach a certain level and make a certain impact. It's about competition. He did spend the last 4 years on the Jacksonville Jaguars, which is why he did not necessarily say, I got used to winning in the NFL. It's like, hey, we had 2 number 1 overall picks while I was there. He continues, they're getting someone who is truly loyal and respects the game, a true rarity. All in all, they're getting a complete player, a complete person and human that comes with it. I feel like I have every tool it takes to be a great player. Oh, yeah.
I'm feeling it. Let's go.
Now we're in let's go season. And you know what? I hope it's right. He obviously has the talent. For those of you that don't know, he was an edge rusher out of LSU, a first-round pick of Jacksonville. And, first-round picks do come, I like to say they have 9 lives. They can play poorly at a bunch of different spots and keep getting minimum contracts because someone thinks they can fix them. Mm-hmm. Let me save you. I hope Ejiro Evero, the defensive coordinator for Carolina, saw something in how this player was being used at the NFL level that was inconsistent or didn't line up with what he did best at LSU, and that he can unlock that potential. Because if he does, that changes the Carolina defense. Now, right? It's big if, right? It's capital if. He has 4 years of NFL tape. He has 73 tackles and 5 sacks. He's averaging 1.25 sack per game as an per season as an edge rusher. It's not great. But if he does live up to some form of that potential, what it does is it makes Jadeveon Clowney more effective. It makes DJ Wonnum more effective. It makes A'Shawn Robinson more effective. It makes Derek Brown more effective. And obviously Derek Brown is going to be asked to be effective regardless because he's getting paid a boatload of money. But those other 3 are all incoming guys, right? They're, along with K'Lavon Chaisson, new guys to the Panthers. So what that means is the impact of the new players can be increased if there's a simple physical specimen that can win on the outside opposite of Jadeveon Clowney. And DJ Wonnum's coming off an injury. It's probably tough to ask him to do that beyond being a great run-stopping edge. But think about what it does. It makes the secondary better because the quarterback doesn't have the same amount of time to get rid of it. It makes the linebackers better because you have to address 2 edge rushing threats rather than 1, and that withholds resources to go ahead and block the second level. Chaisson is a $5 million gamble. If that gamble hits, that is one of the ways that you start to look at the Panthers. And yeah, $5 million gamble, right? That's like us throwing $10 on red when you first walk into the casino. And $10 on black. Let's see what goes. Here's what it does, right? It's a $5 million gamble that if it hits, that's how you start going above expectations, right? The expectations right now for the Panthers are what, 5 wins, right? 4.5 is probably what a lot of the numbers are set at. 5.5 is what a lot of the sports books likely have the Panthers. If you want to start even letting your mind wander, right? Even let the fantasies take place. Start talking about 7, 8 wins. You have to look for ways that you have to look for things that could happen that would not be expected, right? Jonathan Brooks, effective from the very, very beginning, despite the fact that he had a major knee injury not long ago into last football season. Xavier Legette being one of those rookie wide receivers that doesn't appear to need an on-ramp. The offensive line, Ike Ekwonu, stepping up levels in his pass protection, right? I'm not sure I'm betting on any of these to happen, but if you're going to let the fantasy, right, the fever dreams take place of winning 7 or 8 games, some of these unlikely things are going to have to happen. And Chaisson being that dude, being an edge rusher that gets, I'm not saying 15 sacks, gets 6.
He has 5 in his career in 4 years.
If he gets 6 in a year, that's one of those things where you're like, wow, that was unexpected production. That allows me to reconcile how they go from a realistic 5-win team to a 7 or 8-win team. Right? That, like, expecting Deontay Johnson to have a big year. It's like, no, they're banking on Deontay Johnson having a good year. Right? Expecting Robert Hunt to be one of the best guards in the league and going like, well, if he's one of the best guards, that can unlock a new ceiling. It's like, no. They are banking on it. That is the floor.
Yep.
Right? Your good players playing good protects your floor. Your wild cards playing better raises the ceiling. Chaisson, he's a wild card.
Big old scratcher ticket.
Scratchers, they make me laugh. I love scratchers. They're so...
That's the thing. If you hit, you hit.
The adrenaline rush of seeing like your number pop up. Sometimes you buy like a $10 scratcher. You win $2. You're walking on cloud 9 the rest of the day.
I won something.
That is an $8 loss, but you got to see like your number and the winning numbers match up one time, and you're just stoked about it. That would be the equivalent of like Chaisson having 2 sacks in the first 6 weeks and then no more, and be like, hey, you know what?
I broke even.
$5 million. I won something. Walking out of here with something. But yeah, that's a player that could raise the ceiling of the Carolina Panthers.